Day 89, know your CTA and your ROI. As I've previously said, I'm not the biggest fan of sitting down, doing a whole bunch of busy work, and furiously creating a business plan before you ever bring in a client into your business. I think that that's a distraction. It's a waste of time. And you're really not doing anything. You're going to learn so much more about running your business from actually getting out there running your business and learning from your mistakes. So I'm not a big fan of a whole bunch of useless busy work when you first start your business. I think there's a few certain things that you should have straightened out, that you should have very clear. And I would argue that probably the two most important, the top two, are CTA, aka call to action, and ROI, aka return on investment. So I'm, again, not going to throw all of the countless little acronyms, lifetime customer value, and all these other KPIs, key performance indicators. These two, I would argue, are not only the most important, but here's the thing. They're a lot easier to start calculating when you first start running your business. And then as your business grows, it's a lot easier to keep track of. Return on investment is really what I'm getting to here. And then if and when you do want to sell your business, if and when you do reach the point of outside investment, those things are going to be a lot easier because you kept track of your return on investment. And again, those other performance indicators, they'll come. You will start tracking them when you need to, but you want to start tracking your return on investment, which is literally your net profit divided by how much you are spending on advertising, etc. Why this is so important and so difficult to do, to get in the habit of doing, is because we as entrepreneurs put in a lot of hours at the beginning and we don't see much output. Again, the whole point of that is that one day we're putting in minimal time and seeing great output because our businesses have scaled, which is not easy to do at the beginning. But that's why it's so important to keep track of your return on investment. The other side of that, call to action. This is probably the number one problem that I see with beginning entrepreneurs, is that they post on the internet, they post on social media, they write these articles, they write these blog posts, and there's no clear call to action. So you need to be doing things with intention, whether it be leading your customers to a specific product, whether it be leading your customers to join your email list, whether it be leading your customers to take advantage of a very limited deal that you only have going on for a specific amount of time. This also goes in hand, having a specific call to action with building that story that I've talked about, that the most successful entrepreneurs, the most successful people are the ones that are best able to tell their story and that are able to market in terms of telling stories. So how do you do that? It really begins with having a very clear and specific call to action. And the thing about your call to action is that you can't just say it once. You have to say it many of times. And that's an art. And that's something that you should get in the habit of practicing and getting used to from the very, 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 very beginning of setting up and running your business. So return on investment and call to action might seem like they're separate. One's very qualitative, one's kind of quantitative. They're a lot more related than you might initially think. And I would suggest that you get in the habit of really honing in on those two things from the very, very beginning of your business.